Tucker Carlson just put the Trump administration on blast for the Soleimani attack yesterday. And unlike a lot of mainstream media hosts, Tucker Carlson has been consistently one of the biggest anti-war voices in the entire mainstream media. I mean, you're not going to hear MSNBC calling this out. You're not going to see CNN calling this out, because when Trump does something like bomb Syria, they are all in agreement, because like basically the corporations want a war to happen because they get a lot more profits, and defense contractors get a lot more profits. So Tucker has the freedom to say just whatever he wants, and I'm kind of glad for that. I mean, I wish more people were like stop, you know what I'm saying, like Media Matters, they always got these cancel campaigns against Tucker because he'll say something that's like a bit like non-politically correct, or you can say like a bit like bigoted, you know what I'm saying? They want to cancel him, but Tucker is one of the strongest anti-war voices on the right. Like, he criticized his strike as lumbering toward war, and tonight he told viewers they should have serious questions about potential war with Iran. Trump guys, MAGA heads, we're at war with Iraq right now. I mean, just listen to Alex Jones.
You hate that, whether you're neutral about that, that's what's happening. As you know, a few days ago, the U.S. Embassy, the Green Zone in Baghdad, got overrun by Iranian militias. As you know, the Iranians have been involved in a lot of provocative activities in the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz. There's a big proxy war between the West via Saudi Arabia and Iran going on right now.
See what I mean? There's a proxy war. I mean, we're basically at war with Iran right now. And a lot of this is coming from Sheldon Adelson, who's never mentioned on MSNBC or CNN. When have you seen this guy? He's one of the biggest donors to the GOP right now, and he is an absolute Iran hawk. Like, his perspectives on U.S. foreign policy, particularly towards Iran, are alarming, given that his influence on U.S. politics is set to grow in the wake of his latest mega donation to the Republican Party. And this guy is seriously pro-Israel. You see, there's a thing, like, you can be against Israel and not be anti-Semitic. There's like a thin line between that, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of critics of Israel get called anti-Semitic because they basically just want to shut up the discussion, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to really bring up Israel's influence on our foreign policy, because they are highly influential in our foreign policy. Let's keep it real here. And the fact of the matter is, the Trump administration is now full of neocons, especially this cat, Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State. This guy is an absolute neocon, Israel supremacist, seriously. Just read this article right here. He believes in the same type of philosophy as Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney. Basically, to attack the enemy before the enemy attacks you. And this guy, bluntly, as director of CIA, said this.
But in terms of how you think about problem sets, when I was a cadet, what's the cadet motto at West Point? You will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. That's
huge problem. Nobody in the mainstream media called this guy out for being Secretary of State. I mean, Tillerson was a lot better as Secretary of State than Pompeo is. This guy is an absolute danger. He's real scummy. He's real scummy. Don't listen to all the rhetoric about Trump like, oh, we don't want to push for a war. No, we don't want to push for nah, folks. We are at war right now. And another thing about Tucker Carlson is he would have like a lot of anti-war left-wingers on there. You know what I'm saying? Like Glenn Greenwald, Aaron Mate, Michael Tracy. He's one of the only folks on the mainstream media to bring in anti-war left voices. I mean, Glenn Greenwald made a claim that MSNBC banned him for breaking with the collusion narrative. Because basically they don't want any contrarian voices to the overall narrative. I mean, if you remember the Iraq War, you know what I'm saying? Basically, when there was like hyping up the Iraq War, trying to get people to support it, Phil Donahue, ironically, on MSNBC, was one of the strongest anti-war voices against Iraq, and Pat Buchanan was a guest on his show all the time, and he was against the war. And I mean, Donahue was on the left, Buchanan was on the right, but they both came together in agreement against the Iraq War, if y'all remember that back in 2003. But the sad thing is, like, people, I mean, especially resistance liberals, would see those two as agents of Putin now, and now they consider Bill Kristol, an axis of evil writer himself, David Frum, to be relevant voices because Frum and Kristol say Orange Man bad. He basically validates their opinions on Trump, like, oh yeah, Orange Man bad. Oh, a conservative says Orange Man bad, but they don't understand the underlying, their underlying intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like, liberals' intentions against Trump are different than neocons. You know what I'm saying? Neocons like Frum and Kristol's intentions against Trump. I mean, because the main reason why those folks are against Trump is not because of like, you know what I'm saying, like racism, you know what I'm saying, not because of like economic policies and all that. It's because like he wants to work with Russia rather than be antagonize against Russia. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to keep the pressure on Russia. I mean, they want to basically fight Russia in a proxy war. You know what I'm saying? Like, Trump is trying to pull away from that, but they want to keep that because they have economic interests in there, if you look really deep into it. But yeah, it's absolutely sad that the only mainstream voice, anti-war voice on this will be Tucker Carlson, because otherwise there will be a consensus even from America First conservatives, you know what I'm saying, like the always Trumpers, the Dan Bongino tribes. Yeah, they're gonna be like, let's fight this war now. It's a total 180 from being against war. It's just ridiculous, man. We're under World War III right now, so I don't know. I mean, I hope it gets better, but right now we're in some dangerous times. So I wonder how Iran will respond, because there is like news like Iraq is putting a resolution to kick the U.S. out of Iraq, which I'm glad it's finally happened, because it's time for all of our troops to come back home. I mean, seriously, like, we have a national security problem there's a national security problem 2 hours away from where I live at on the Mexico border. We need to take care of that. Seriously. But anyways, follow me on Twitter, JohnClem310. Please subscribe if you agree with my video. I mean, please share it around, because I have a unique point of view on things. You know what I'm saying? Like, peace out.